Hey guys, today I'm going to be sharing 5 things I wish I knew before going on mission. Now, this is not an exhaustive list, but just a few things I discovered during my 9 months as an urban missionary. If you're interested in knowing more specifically about the work that I was doing, you can go back and watch the Epic Moments videos that I posted. They'll be linked in the description box below as well. But basically, I was sharing my personal story of the redemptive work of God in my life with 7 other individuals and an entertaining 1 hour performance for grade schools across the country. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell. But let me just go ahead with the 5 things that I kind of discovered along the way. So, number one is just doing it for the right reasons. Okay, let me just give you a little bit of a backstory on how I sort of landed on this opportunity. In 2015, I believed God had called me into a different career path. So I started training and preparing to go into the field, and I hit a crossroads where I had to make a decision between my then job and an opportunity in this field. I did end up quitting my job, which left me kind of struggling financially and having a hard time paying my bills. So when this opportunity to travel presented itself, I was ready and willing to go. I will say, I still do firmly believe that it was a God thing, because I had tried to join this missions group the year prior, but I didn't get accepted to go. So I think everything just kind of came around full circle, and things really just fell into place for me, and it was just the right opportunity, right time for me to actually go. Another thing is just make sure God is sending you and you're not sending yourself. And one easy way to kind of determine this is just a simple question, and that is, does it line up with your natural talents and abilities? Maybe you feel called to do urban missions like I did, right? But where? Urban communities look different in different places. They have different environments and require different things. So I know for a fact that I was not called to do urban missions overseas. I'm just not cut out for some of the challenges that they're faced with, and the environments that some of these urban communities exist in. So just know yourself. Be true to who you are and how God has wired and designed you. Also, just make sure you are going to serve the needs of the community and not just for a vacation. Not to say that there won't be plenty of time for you to, enjoy the surroundings and the things that the culture and the location have to offer you. But just again, make sure you're prioritizing the needs of the people, and remember you are there to serve. So you need money. This is tip number 2. You need money, okay? If you are traveling with a group or an organization that is not fully covering your food, your room and board, and your travel, then you have to have money, okay? Obviously, fundraising is a really big thing to do. There's sponsorships if you have somebody who is sponsoring your trip in full. If you can find a way to generate income that doesn't actually interfere with the work that you're doing, that's another good way to sort of, take care of your basic needs. For example, when I was touring, there was one guy on the team who was actually blogging and vlogging about his experiences. And so that's one way, especially with digital media being really big today, to actually generate some income while you're traveling and doing the missions work. Third thing I'll say is trust God. And I know that might sound a little bit contradictory to what I said about money, but it's not, right? So Proverbs 3:5-6 tells us, lean not on your own understanding. In all of your ways, acknowledge him, and he will, direct your path. You can pretty much expect that things will not go according to plan, but just trust that God will give you wisdom and knowledge so that the mission can still continue on. It's so important to really be in tune to what the Spirit of God is doing, So fourth thing I'll say is devote yourself to prayer. There will be all sorts of attacks, spiritual attacks, but also just mental, emotional, and physical attacks. There was a time where I really thought I was going to quit and go home because everything from cohabitating with people with, different life experiences, different backgrounds, to just the time, energy, and effort that is required sometimes, and physically demanding and exhausting. I really thought I was not going to make it, but prayerfully, I did. Another reason why prayer is important is because God will actually communicate to you how He wants to use you in a given situation. Um, and not just for the benefit of the people that you're serving, but also for the people that you're serving with, you know? And finally, guys, it's important to confide in your team. Be vulnerable and transparent because it will strengthen the dynamic of your team and bring healing and encouragement to you. So, having solid community before going on missions is great practice for something like this, especially if you're not used to being, so forthcoming with certain things about yourself, your mental, emotional, or even, spiritual state. So, having your team there to confide in, to unpack different things with, who are going through the same, struggles, facing some of the same challenges as you, will be most helpful during, a long-term mission trip. So that's all the tips I have in terms of what I wish I knew before going on missions. I hope you find this video helpful and encouraging as you prayerfully consider missions for yourself. And I do just want to reiterate that everywhere is literally a mission field. So don't feel obligated to go out of the country just to share the gospel of Jesus. There are unreached people right where you live and work, and your daily interactions with them are just as meaningful and purposeful.